It happens every day. People complain about each other. They hate each other. They can't stand each other. You know, they're doing a lot of bad things to each other simply because they cannot communicate.
Yeah.
So the coach is not going to give you ready-made answers, but rather the coach, as a talking mirror, will ask you all sorts of questions about yourself, about your values, beliefs, and your future.
Sometimes when people are asking me, what do you do for a living? I say I help smart people think, because the smarter you are, the more you rationalize your emotions, the more you rationalize your beliefs, the more you create those blocks.
So the coach is an instrument, and the coach needs to work on himself or herself. This is the most difficult thing for leaders. The hardest thing for them is to shut up and listen.
And the moment that you feel like you're the smartest person in the room is the moment that you stop learning anything. Today I have with me Yury Zachek. He's a colleague, a good friend, the president of ICF Cyprus, and he also runs the Ericsson Coaching School here in Cyprus. Yury has a strong background in leadership and coaching, and he's deeply committed to developing people, whether that's through executive coaching, mentoring, or building coaching cultures. Here's the thing. Coaching is not just for coaches. It's one of the most powerful tools leaders can use to build trust, to help their people think for themselves, to create space for growth and ownership. So today, here is what we are going to do. We are going to dive into all of those. What coaching in leadership actually looks like, what it sounds like in everyday conversations, and how it can shift the way your team shows up. If you run a team or you aspire to do it someday, this one is definitely for you. It's very rare to have other coaches and talk about the thing we love, coaching. So I'm very happy that we're having this conversation, talking about coaching in leadership.
It's very rare to talk about coaching in general, you know, because it's a very special subject. So it's really, I hope we'll have a lot of fun discussing it today with a professional. So.
Our audience, they are mainly people that they have teams, or they run teams, or they work with other people. So let's start with the definition. What is coaching? What is not coaching?
It's a very good question, and a very important one, actually, because as you and I know, being part of ICF, International Coaching Federation, and you're also being part of EMCC, that there is a lot of, I would say, confusion with terminology. So because there are a lot of things that are called coaching, so people who don't know the topic, they call, basically training can be called coaching, team building, mentoring can be called coaching, even some therapy, they now call it coaching. So there's quite a lot of things which actually are not coaching. Coaching is a certain instrument. It's a method of working with people, mainly through questions, asking questions at I would say, in a certain system of asking questions, and helping the person to define the goal, understand where he or she wants to go, and what's the shortest way. So everything else is not coaching. So that's why coaching is a method that you actually learn. So you need to specifically study it and certify in it. So
if you want to call yourself a coach.
The thing is, if a lot of people
a professional coach,
call themselves coaches, yes, but if you want to do it professionally, and if you want to work, for example, with organizations would want to have certified coaches, professional coaches, certified coaches who are trained, who actually took exams. So it's a new profession. So it's the profession of the 21st century. Though coaching it has quite a lengthy history, so it appeared in 70s and 80s. So it's important for people just to understand that as any profession, it needs training, certification, and permanent upgrading of your skills. So that's what it is. And it's also not a sports coaching, because this is a different topic.
The idea starts from sports coaching, isn't it?
That's true. So the story goes that in 70s, Timothy Golby was the person. He was a very famous tennis coach. So, and he started training businessmen in the same way as he trained sportsmen. So he used the same methods, and the people in business started showing great results, being more bold, just growing revenue. So, and that's how it became known that whatever works in sports works in business, because the mechanisms are pretty much the same. So you need to define the goal, what you really want. Then you need to identify the resources, and then you need to just identify the shortest route.
Yeah, and think about that. When you're coaching people in sports, you don't do the work for them. You
Correct.
coach them to find the way and increase their skills. For example, as tennis player, you don't take the racket and you go and you do it for them, but you coach them to find the right way to do it.
Correct. That's very true. And this is what people need to understand when they work with a coach, that the responsibility always remains with a client.
Yeah.
So as a coach, I can actually help you to find the way, but I cannot drag you there.
You know what? When people are asking me, new clients are asking me what coaching is, because
Yes.
I always start with, do you know what coaching is? Have you ever tried coaching before? Because it's important to clarify that in the beginning, to manage expectations. What is it that they need? What is it that they expect from you? So when people are asking, they say, I don't know what coaching is, I have two options. One is to give them the definition, ICF definition. Okay, very difficult to understand. Number two is I say, it's like you're driving a car. You're going to sit on the steering wheel. I am going to be next to you. You will have the responsibility of driving the car. I will help you clear the road, clear the street in front of you. And we will always look in front, but every now and then we will look into these small mirrors of the car just to realize what is coming from the past. But the main focus is in the future. And they get it. And they get it because they understand that they have the responsibility. They will find the way. I will be there as a thinking partner. This is what we do. We are there as thinking partners for them to find the way.
I like this metaphor, by the way, and I'm using also another metaphor here, that a coach to a large extent is like a mirror to the client, but it's a talking mirror.
Yeah.
So, and the mirror is helping the client to understand better what's going on with the client. So I can ask, look, why do you think this thought? So why do you have this assumption? Or why do you have this belief? Or why do you have this goal? What is your mission? So I'm helping the client to understand better what the client is and what the client is not. So, and this is also a very good explanation of what coaching is not, because imagine a person looking in the mirror and imagine a person watching a TV, a television. So a television is something that's giving you information, right? So when you watch TV, well, you can learn something, yes, but it's not as good as about learning yourself when you're looking in the mirror, right? So that would be the difference, and that people need to understand that a coach is basically not a trainer, not a consultant.
Yeah.
So the coach is not going to give you ready-made answers, but rather the coach as a talking mirror will ask you all sorts of questions about yourself, about your values, beliefs, and your future.
And actually, this is much more important when it comes to leadership and when it comes to senior positions. Sometimes when people are asking me, what do you do for a living? I say I help smart people think.
Yes.
Because the smarter you are, the more you rationalize your emotions, the more you rationalize your beliefs, the more you create those blocks. So it's much more important when it comes to leadership, because they need to make more important decisions. How is coaching related to leadership? That's something that our audience maybe. Why are we doing this conversation?
Yes.
In a Leadership in Progress podcast.
What is a leadership coach? What is the correlation, executive coaching? So I'll tell you a secret.
In front of many people.
Please don't tell anyone. So I've been in this profession for almost 9 years. So, and what started basically as a number of tools. You know, when you're a young coach, you're just using certain tools that your coaching school gives you. So, and it's sometimes a very mechanic thing. So you just learn something, you apply it, you work with clients.
Of course.
So, but the more I worked with clients, the more I understood that it's, first of all, it's not about the client, it's about the coach. So the coach is an instrument, and the coach needs to work on himself or herself. The coach needs to be mindful. The coach needs to be aware, because we cannot bring anyone higher than we are.
Of course.
So that is why, as an instrument, I'm now paying most of attention on me, on developing myself, on being mindful and aware. I'm doing mindfulness practices. I'm taking good care of myself. I'm taking good care of my brain and what's going on in my mind.
Of course.
So, and this is how you can work with other people. So, because there is an old ancient metaphor, which I really like. Imagine there is a lake at night, and there is a moon, which is reflecting in the lake. So if the lake is not still, if there are waves, then the moon's reflection is distorted. So it's not reflecting as it is, right? So it's kind of, it has a different shape, it's shaking all the time. So the image is distorted. So, and this metaphor means that in order to be able to see things as they are and to see other person how he is, for example, or she is, you need to have this stillness inside. Yes. You need to have your thoughts still, your mind needs to be still, emotions. Yeah. And this is what leaders need to learn.
And not to get in their way. Not to get in their way, I mean, your thoughts, your directions, your beliefs, your triggers as a coach, not to get in their thinking way, because because otherwise you direct people, you don't coach people, you show them where they should go, and you don't know if this is the best solution for them, and in that way you don't change behaviors, because in coaching we change behaviors, and this is the most important thing. Yeah.
That's true. So for leaders, this is very true. The client, if you're not still, if you don't feel steady, if you don't feel comfortable, any client can easily drag you into their view of the world, into their pictures. So the coach needs to be very steady. So if we talk about leaders and coaching mindset for leaders, well, they say that there are 3 main roles that a leader plays, any manager plays. So the first role is a leader. When you actually lead, you show the future, you show the way, you make people motivated, you empower them. So it's like, a very strong leader that people want to follow this leader. So this is one role. The second role is a manager. So when you're actually managing, giving tasks, you responsible for processes within a company. So, and frankly speaking, a lot of leaders now who are called leaders, they're really managers in reality, they're not leaders. So, but the third role is a coach role. And the coach role is actually empowering your employees, your team, to grow and develop, to help them to in self-realization, to help them to understand their talents, to grow their talents, to develop their talents. So it's about people. It's about developing people. So, and leader actually can switch from one role to another. And some leaders are naturally leaders. There are very few of them, but they are. A lot of people are managers, but very few leaders got coach training now, you know? So because this was not the case for many, many years. So that is why now leaders actually need to be coaches, because it's the best instrument to manage teams and people.
It's one of the hats that they need to wear as leaders, because maybe sometimes you wear the hat of a teacher, maybe sometimes because you need to train someone. Sometimes you wear the hat of the mentor. Sometimes you wear the hat of the problem solver, you know? You need to just go there and solve a problem, but this is not the main thing that you're doing. Sometimes you manage. So totally agree with you that it's different hats that you need to wear as a leader. And I see more and more leaders they now want to be trained on how can I coach my people. So let's talk about this, the coaching mindset and the coaching skill that leaders they can embrace and they can empower their team. What is the main thing that you will tell to someone when they come and they say, okay, what is it that I need to learn? If I need to coach my people, what is it that I need to learn first?
Oh, it's a very good question. So, well, first of all, it's important to understand that you cannot master a new skill in like 4 hours or 8 hours. This is very often what HR directors or leaders tell me, you know, when they say, hey, can you come and teach us coaching?
Yeah.
We have just 4 hours. So it doesn't work, I'm sorry, because this is a new skill that you want to install. This is a new mindset. This is a new view of the world and of the people. It takes time and it takes practice. So that's why the first thing that I would advise to start with is commitment. If you want to do it, just commit to it, allocate time, allocate budget. Let's be honest here, you know, because very few organizations now have budgets for coaching or for studying coaching. So allocate all of this, allocate your energy, have this commitment. You need to be genuinely interested in people and in developing your people. So that would be the next thing. So you need to make it a priority, an important thing, not just, well, it would be nice to do it, but I'm not really interested in that. No, it's if you go there, just go for it. I would also recommend to look at specific good providers, schools who are accredited, who have reputation, who have basically this know-how, how to do that.
But let's say someone is listening to us and they say, okay, I want to learn more about these coaching skills. What is this coaching? How do I coach my people?
So in other words, what will you get when you get out of the coaching school? If that's the question. So what will be the upgrade?
Yeah, maybe it's maybe it's a school, maybe it's not a school. You know, people, they want to grow, people, they want to learn. Sometimes they do a workshop, sometimes they do a series of coaching themselves.
Yes.
Sometimes they go to school. It's not about where they will get the knowledge, but what will be the result of that.
Yes, what will be the result? Seeing clearly. So the first thing will be to have this stillness inside. So not being triggered by other people, other problems, others' views or opinions. This is the most difficult thing for leaders. I work a lot with owners of business, with founders. So, and when they want to install this new coaching skill, the hardest thing for them is to shut up and listen. Because they all got used to talking. They are leading, you know, they're managing. They've been talking for years and sometimes dozens of years, you know. And when you are CEO and founder, you have a successful company and you've been instructing, giving instructions to your team for 15 years, it is so hard for them to sit down at the table, shut up, and listen what the other person is going to say, or start asking questions. Sometimes they don't even know what to ask, or when they ask it, they say that they feel very embarrassed because it's a skill that you need to learn. So asking questions, listening, not trying to bring your own perspective there. So because usually successful people have answers to everything. They think that since I'm successful, I know everything. That's why I will speak and you will listen.
And the moment that you feel like you're the smartest person in the room is the moment that you stop learning anything.
Yeah, and you just change the room or you bring other people in the room.
But if that comes from you, I mean, if you all the time feel, if the leader of the time feels that I have to have all the answers, then it's a trouble situation. They create dependencies around them. Yeah. They depend on their leader to have everything ready, made. So this is a big burden on their shoulders, on leaders' shoulders to have.
You know what? This is very interesting. So I can tell you that if we're talking about team coaching, because coaching is not only for individuals, it's not one-on-one. It can be also
team coaching. Team
coaching, yes. When you talk about team coaching, very often the directors or executives, they would say, we want you to coach our team. We want we have a group of people. We want them really to become a team. So please coach us. And I'm always asking them, are you sure you want it? Because a team, a real team, means that the team becomes autonomous. It means that the team starts to think, they start to generate ideas, they start to suggest stuff. And when they're suggesting stuff and ideas, they want it to be implemented.
Of course.
So they want autonomy, they want some certain powers, they want certain ability to do it.
Are you ready to slow down your loudness to allow other people to shine? Are you ready to do that?
Exactly. So as a leader, that's why I'm always asking them, as a leader, are you ready to delegate part of your authority to your team? Let them be the decision makers. Or you still want to control everything. And because if you're not ready for that, then there is absolutely no sense in team coaching. What's the sense in your team becoming mindful and aware, becoming independent, and you not giving them this independence?
And it's not just about independence. Is also independence, healthy conflicts that they can have in a conversation. Some people, they are afraid of conflicts. They think that just because we disagree and just because we have these conflicts in the conversation, this is not a good thing, but it is. It is. When you have the right amount of psychological safety, you need conflict to generate ideas, don't you?
Healthy conflict.
Healthy conflict.
Exactly.
Yes.
So this is, again, brings us to this coaching mindset, because people were never taught to communicate. Coaching is also about understanding other people, understanding myself better and understanding other people better. What do they really want? Listening to what they say, listening to their fears, desires, their limitations, their aims, goals, mission, whatever. So, and that is why in coaching, you need to really start listening, and you need to change from this perspective of I know everything and I'm the leader here.
All of these, they sound very nice, but someone might listen to us and think, okay, what is the business benefit? Okay, from a human side of it's everything looks nice, it's good to hear people, it's good to, but what is the business benefit, they might think? Is there a business benefit on that?
It is. There is a lot of research that is done by International Coaching Federation and different analytical agencies. You can easily find it, the benefits, the return of investment on coaching. I've seen one of the research done that says that the ROI, the return of investment of executive coaching, is as high as 600%, more than 600%, as far as I remember. So there is research on that. So it also keeps people more motivated, more engaged, so more fulfilled at work.
We have less turnover.
You have less turnover,
More
less
creativity, maybe.
More creativity. People are being heard. This is very important for them. So coaching is about understanding other people and having this communication, connection. So also the teams really start to communicate, because no one taught us at school or universities. People communicate intuitively. But a lot of people just can't do it, in the companies and corporations. So there are problems. They're fighting all the time. There are conflicts. There are scandals, quarrels. It happens every day. People complain about each other. They hate each other. They can't stand each other. They're doing a lot of bad things to each other simply because they cannot communicate. So once your teams, for example, and you as a leader get this new communication skills, it tremendously helps to increase the productivity of the whole team. So it actually makes it a high-performing team. So there are very few high-performing teams, actually.
It's only 10%. I was reading a resource the other day that it says it's up to 10 to 20% only of the teams, they become high-performing teams, because it's such a unique place.
Yes.
You need to have high motivational drivers, you need to have high psychological safety, and in the core of that, it is coaching as well. And the way you communicate with people, and the way you delegate, and the way you give feedback, and all these things, they are affected from coaching. For example, how do you give feedback different when you have a coaching mindset?
There is a new term. Well, it's not very new, but still not many use it. Instead of feedback, feed forward.
Feed forward, yeah.
And this is a very coaching term, right? Because coaching is not about...
It's about moving
It's
forward.
not about rear, it's about forward. So feed forward, a totally different mindset. So paying attention on people's strong sides rather than weak sides. This is a very important thing, and this is what coach does. The coach usually helps the clients to see the bright spots, the strong spots, strong features. So that's why the whole feedback exercise becomes very different. And it's a big problem, I can tell you. So especially now in Cyprus, in IT sector, for example. So there are a lot of companies here in IT sector, and people there are naturally not the best communicators. They're great engineers and developers, but they're not best communicators.
And you know what? The more we are moving into an AI era, the more human we need to become. We need to evolve and embrace those soft skills, which they are not soft at all, but they are named as soft, like communication, like the way we give feedback, like empathy, like all these...
Emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence, all of these soft skills. So coaching has application to all of these topics in leadership. And we see people that they are struggling. They're struggling a lot, especially in giving feedback, having difficult conversations. They come to us, I'm sure they come to you as well, and they say, I need to make this difficult conversation, not sure how I'm going to approach this.
And they're avoiding.
Yeah.
Very often they just avoid it. People are, neuroscience confirms it, and Buddha confirmed it 2,600 years ago, so that people want two things. They want to be happy, so they want pleasure, and they want to avoid pain.
Of course.
But avoiding pain in us is stronger than actually seeking of pleasure. So if people are afraid of losing anything, they will not pursue new stuff just in order not to lose what they have. So they prefer to lose opportunities that a difficult conversation might give them, rather than put at risk what they already have. So that's why a lot of people avoid conversations, avoid confrontation, and it happens both in personal life and it happens in organizations. It happens with friends, relatives, whoever.
Yeah, 100%. People will do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. Yeah, totally that.
And you know what's most astonishing for me is that we're in 2025 now, and all of the knowledge is on like tips of your fingers, you know, so you can get anything now. You have access to any sorts of information. And still, people they don't get proper training. They don't know how our mind works, how our emotions
But Yury,
work.
you know what? People don't always know what they need to search for. For example, if I go back to my leadership journey, when I became first-time manager a lot of years ago, I didn't know that coaching was a thing. And then I found out like randomly, because I used to say that I'm a coach to this team. I'm not their manager, I'm their coach. And then having said that too many times, somehow randomly I fell onto something about coaching, and coaching came into my life. But not all of the people, they know what coaching is, or you need to be able to ask the right questions to yourself first to be able to find the right answers. Do we make the right questions to ourselves? What is it that I need to grow? What is it that I need to learn more?
As coaches, we already think that, like working with it every day. So we think that people have a lot of knowledge in this area. They don't. So there still needs to be a lot of education around this area. So leadership skills is something that is missing very often. There are very few programs, really good leadership programs, that don't just give you information, but make you think. Because what I love about coaching, and here probably we just need to emphasize why it works, why this instrument works, because our psychology works in such a way that when a person is asked a question, he or she starts to think and to search for answers. It comes naturally. So if I tell you something, you will listen to it and probably you will soon forget. But if I ask you something, you will start thinking.
The thinking
so
process.
It immediately switches you on. So that is why it works both in organization, and it works in families. It works with your kids. Coaching is an amazing instrument for bringing up kids. So instead of telling them what to do, you can ask them, okay, what would you do in this situation? Or what have you done before? It immediately switches them on, makes them think. Once they start thinking, the new neuro connections neural links are emerging.
And you know what is amazing? That you mentioned earlier that people do things for two reasons and two reasons only. They go towards pleasures and they want to avoid pain. But what is pain for me and what is pain for you, it might be completely different. And with coaching, sometimes what we do is we transform what is painful into something that is pleasure. It brings pleasure. In the past, maybe a feedback conversation, a difficult conversation might look as painful. But then it looks like a good opportunity to connect and add value. So what looked back as a painful situation, you make it look like a good opportunity for growth.
It happens very often with situations when people get stuck. So I'm always joking that coaching to a large extent is about helping you to unstuck. We all get stuck. Even most successful people get stuck in our lives. And it happens several times. It's not just a midlife crisis. it happens regularly. You know, there are some cycles in your life. So they say that maybe every 5 to 7 years, you just need to restart something, reboot, you know. And this can be a really painful experience for people because being stuck means that you don't see the future, you don't know the way out, you know. And most of the people, they like things to be predictable and certain, you know. Certainty is important.
We think that
Yes.
we want to know, but
at least they want to know where they are moving, what's ahead for them, what to do, you know. This is the most common question in coaching. What should I do now?
yes,
So, and it can be very frustrating, but these periods in life are very valuable because it helps you to open a door, you know. It's like when you have a feeling that you're banging with your head against a wall, but coach helps you to take 2 steps back and say, hey, look, there is a door right next to you.
Yeah.
And the person will see this door because while you're banging your head against the wall, you just don't see it. So these moments are very precious. This is exactly what you're saying, turning your pain into pleasure, let's call it, turning your problem into an opportunity. So if you are stuck now, and I know that a lot of people who are listening to us now or watching this podcast, a lot of people are experiencing it right now. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with my career. I don't know what to do with my family. So please don't get very much disappointed and please don't get desperate about that.
There is a solution. And there is a myth, Yury, there is a myth that we can coach ourselves. To a certain point, some people, they can coach themselves. For example, I can coach myself to a certain point. You can coach yourself to a certain point. But the moment that you are stuck, you need another external disruptor.
Oh, yes.
The moment I am stuck, even if you are the best coach in the world, the moment that you're stuck, you need an external disruptor to disrupt your own thinking.
Yes.
Because it's like being inside the hurricane. You cannot see. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how good coach you are. You're a brilliant coach. Can you coach yourself to a certain point? Because the moment that you're truly stuck, you need someone else to disrupt these thinking patterns.
I had this experience, and I can tell you, I was stuck for 10 years.
Yeah,
As a leader with amazing corporate career, as a lawyer in the largest consulting company in the world, you know. Still, I was stuck, and it lasted for 10 years. So, and the mantra that I was telling myself, I was saying, I'm trapped. There's no way out. No matter what I do, there's no way out. So, and it almost ruined me, you know, because you start to have problems with your health. You have a lot of bad habits. You're not taking good care of yourself. You're in the mode of self-destruction. So what happens now, and it was a very painful period, and thanks to coaching, I was able to get out of it. So what happens now, and it happened this year. So in the beginning of the year, I thought, I am stuck. And after 2 weeks, I said, I need to work with a coach.
Yes,
so, and now I don't let it last.
And you don't waste 10 more years.
I don't waste 10 more years. If I have several weeks of this mind wandering, okay, what do? I think I have problem. I don't know what to do. I don't know should I stop this project? Should I start this project? Should I do this partnership? So I just go to a professional and I let myself being coached, and immediately I can find the answers. So it works like that. So we don't see ourselves. We need independent look from a professional who will ask us, hey, why are you thinking this? Is this really so? Is there any other option?
And think about that. You being a part of the team, and your leader to be your coach and have those coaching skills, how much easier would be for the team members to unstuck, to get out of this stagnation, to think clearly, to move faster. And then the moment you unstuck yourself, you don't go back. You cannot go back. But the moment I tell you the solution, you always go back. If I give you the solution, you will always have a second thought, third thought. You will always go into this overthinking, okay? And if you succeed, you will come back to me. If you fail, you will blame me.
This is very true, yes. And the good thing about coaching and mindfulness practice is that you cannot become not mindful again.
Yes,
so you cannot,
yes. Once you see the light, you don't.
Once you see the light, you never go back. Yes,
you never go back.
So it's a good thing, but it also needs practice. That's the problem with that usually people face. So one of the very good instruments actually to clear your mind and to keep it still is meditations. So it takes some discipline. Yeah. Because you just need to sit down and observe your breath for at least 10 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day. A lot of people, they start doing it, they just drop because they don't see quick effects and they just drop. So that is why
mindfulness is the bigger umbrella and meditation is just one tool.
We can
have many more.
Absolutely.
Like walking meditation or just observing something or just, it's not because not all of the people, they are into meditation.
Yes. That's my favorite.
I
just love it.
I know that you love it, but some of the people that we are listening to us, maybe they define this very, very far away from their interests or what else we can do to have mindfulness apart from meditation.
There are not so many tools, so meditation is self-observing, but if you don't have time and energy for that, or you for whatever reason you don't want to practice it, then I'm afraid you'll have to work with somebody. So it can be either a therapist, psychologist, or a coach. So, but you need independent look. So there are not really many things that can train your mind. Yeah. So because this is exactly training of the mind and training of your focus of mind. You need to, in order to stay calm, you need to train your ability to focus.
What else would you advise someone that, I know you don't give advices, you're a coach.
But today
is an exception. So what would you advise to someone that is listening to us? They have a team, they don't know what to look for. Where should they start? Okay, they can go to a school, they can go to they can have a training, they can have all this stuff. But what if they start simple? What is the first thing they need to search when they finish this episode?
I would suggest them to try, because you can listen to many things. It's like a massage, I can tell you a lot of good things about massage.
Try coaching themselves. Find a coach and try coaching themselves.
Just test it.
See how it feels.
Test it. Have
that's a good one.
Pro bono free demo session, whatever. Look for some coaches that you really like and try them.
See how you feel, see how you think about it.
Yes.
And if it's impactful for you, then learn how to do it.
Absolutely.
With your team.
So, but you first need to test it, to try it. If it works, it works. But please also don't give it a couple of tries, maybe 2, 3. Because frankly, what I heard many times, and this makes me very sad actually, that people tell me, when they ask me, what are you doing, Yury? I said, I'm a professional coach. And they said, coaching. I had a horrible experience with a coach like several years ago. And now I think that it's really a bad instrument. It's not for me. And it makes me feel really sad because I have a lot of examples hundreds of people who are so grateful for coaching, and they really think that it's a great instrument. But unfortunately, in this case, they had a bad experience and they stopped. They said,
You know
it's
what?
not for me.
Because coaching is not objective; it's subjective. It depends who you have. It's like the lake that we saw.
Exactly.
It's who is the coach. So I would say find a coach, have a chemistry meeting,
Yes.
and then try it out a few times, because again, sometimes we see with people that they need a couple of sessions just to get an idea what coaching is, because they don't it's not something they did before. So commit to something, try it out yourself, have a goal, and work through that goal with a coach, and then when you see the results, learn how to do it and provide that. Not because we are going to become all of us professional coaches, but learn it as a skill and provide that to your team members.
It is a very valuable instrument. So if you're working with a professional coach, sometimes it takes one question for you to get an amazing insight that will unblock your team or enable you to start a project. So it can bring you a lot of value. So, and these people need to understand, so that this is like, I can compare it probably to a really good consulting with some really well-known expert. You know, so if you want your business, for example, to grow, sometimes you need to involve really good professionals who will support you. So treat it as an investment in your future, in your growth. So it's not just a hobby, or it's not just fun, you know, it's not. So treat it as an investment, and a serious investment.
And find an accredited coach, because coaching is not it's not a regulated profession, and it's a pop word as well. You know,
Yes.
People are calling themselves coaches. They are not. So find an accredited coach.
Yes.
ICF, MCC, two biggest bodies, and make sure that they have all the credentials, because it is an investment if you invest it correctly. But if you invest it badly...
Because there are so many coaches now out there in the market, so I advise everyone, please check.
Yes.
Please check, what training did this person get? Is he or she a member of any professional body or federation? Please do your homework before starting to work with this person, because you are going to discuss confidential matters, and the coach, the professional certified coach, needs to be bound.
And it is an investment. It is an investment, let's be honest, because to be able to invest on yourself as a coach, you need to invest on trainings, you need to invest on all your development.
Absolutely.
So it is an investment. So make sure that you do your homework before you put the investment.
It will just help you to get the maximum out of working with a coach, and to avoid these unpleasant situations where you can say, oh, it was a horrible experience. Because I guarantee you that those who are professionally trained and accredited, they will never give you a horrible experience, you know, so because it's just not, it's not in line with ethics standards and ethics code. And we're all bound as professional certified accredited coaches by ethics codes.
Yury, thank you very much for being here today, talking about coaching and leadership and how coaching can help team leaders. What is one message that you would like to leave the world? If this was your last message on earth, what would that be?
If it was my last message, I would say all the answers to all the questions that you have are much closer than you think. And if you're suffering now, if you're struggling, if you are unhappy, if you have problems in your life, start looking for solutions, for the answers. All the answers are already there, and they're closer than you think.
Yes.
They might be next door. It might be just one phone call away, or it might be just one email or message away. So start looking. Don't make the same mistake that I made. Don't be stuck for 10 years.
Yury, thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you, Vaso, for inviting. It's my pleasure to speak about such an important topic.